Got 6 people here already. You guys were waiting in the queue. Welcome. Welcome to tonight's show and little podcast, whatever you want to call it. There's some changes going on right now, and there's some things that we got to talk about. In suburbs of Chicago, there has been an increase in theft. And these migrants have figured out, these illegals have figured out exactly what to do. They walk into the stores, they put as many clothes on and stuff as they possibly can, pants, shirts, whatever it is, and they try to walk right out. And they're basically daring people to try to stop them. And depending on where you live across the United States, there are new laws in certain towns and cities and stuff like that that stop you from doing anything about it because you haven't stolen more than $1,000 worth of merchandise. So they can't do anything to you. They have to let you go. They cannot stop you. They cannot do anything. They have to let you go. So it just all depends on where you're from. The governors, the mayors, the aldermen, the people that are the head of your towns are protecting them. The people that you have elected are protecting them. So if you live in a Democratic-run city, state, doesn't matter they are protecting them. They are at this point committing a crime themselves, and it's only a matter of time before the right person comes along and figures out how to go after those people for doing what they're doing, and they're allowing it to happen. But if me or you were to go to another country and try to do these things, it would never be allowed. We would automatically be ridiculed. We would automatically be locked up. We would be beat. We may have our hands cut off, depending on what country or something you're from. You're going to be taught a lesson. But here it's okay. It's okay for them to do it here, and it sucks because the state of Illinois it's a very long state. It takes hours to get from one end to the other and out of Illinois, in such a small, dense corner is what controls the vote for the entire state. People from Illinois are not what everybody else think we are. We are not a Democratic Party here. It's Chicago itself that controls everything for this. But most of this state, they don't vote Democrat when you look at the size of the state. So I know a lot of you guys like to say you guys got what you voted for, but people like me didn't vote for that. I didn't vote for that, and I know most other people that live out where I do in other areas outside of Chicago did not vote for that. And even the people that did vote for Democrats didn't quite see through the BS and everything that was going on, because they seen somebody that was the same color as them, or somebody that said the right words to make them feel like they were going to give more money or something to the minority community or the lower class community or something like that. And that made them feel more comfortable about it, because those communities, let's just face it, they are suffering. Those communities do need more money. They do need more education. They do need more time put into them, but not by the Democratic Party. Unfortunately, until the right old school conservative Democrat comes along, when I say that, if you look at Democrats back in the day, they had very high conservative value to that Democratic title that they had. Even Democrats back in the day were thought of to be very by the book, respect law enforcement, respect the law, do what you're told to do, don't break the rules and stuff like that, try to be a productive part of society. But if you look at the Democrats today, that's not what they are. They don't do that type of stuff. The Democrats today are more of, oh, it's okay, call yourself whatever you want. You want to be an attack helicopter today, but you want to be a pom-pom, tomorrow, and the day after that you want to be a lizard. That's okay. And then you can go back to Timmy or Sheila the day after. There's a huge difference in what happened then versus what's going on now. Back then, that's none of this was going on. Not to this extent. And unfortunately, the mayor of Chicago, just like it was just brought up here, they say they still see buses coming. People, this is not over. This is far from over. Have you seen the new videos lately or over the last week of all the migrants, the illegals coming through the Darien Gap? Have you seen the thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people that are still headed here this way? Oh, it ain't over. It's far from over. Far from over. They are lined up down the Darien Gap, through the waterways and stuff, through the jungle and stuff like that. The cartels, the Mexico, Colombia, Venezuela, it's a feeding ground right now. It is a frenzy for what is going on for them, because you know why? They see those people leaving Venezuela, Colombia, Mexico, Panama, Guatemala. They see them all leaving, and they become targets now. Now they can steal their money. They can take their belongings. They can steal their clothes. The government's involved. The police is involved. They're all involved in what's going on. They all know what's going on. What does this guy say? Well, what can anyone who doesn't live in a Dem-run city really have to say? They voted for it. Yeah, anyway. Whatever, dude. Some of you guys are just, I won't say it. So these guys have been, they see what's going on. They are using the people to their advantage that are trying to make that journey from where they're at to here, so they could rob from them, they could steal from them, they could do all those things. They love what's going on right now, because for one, it's clearing out their countries. So where they didn't have any money or opportunity and stuff before, they're about to have a lot of opportunity real soon. The more people that leave, they go somewhere else, the more that you give them exactly what they want, the more they will be able to start their own little neighborhoods, their own little villages, their own little towns and stuff there. And they're going to actually raise it and do exactly what they want. You know, there's a reason why they started clearing out the prisons and stuff like that. Because these people are not a productive part of society. Clear them out, send them north. Get out of here. Go to Colombia, build a house. The cartels burn your house down. Colombian government comes in and says, thanks for spending the money on the land. Get the hell out of here. Keep going north. Do you not see the picture? Do you not see what's going on here? Do you not see all the people from 6, 7, 8 countries away? They've traveled through all these different areas to go through Mexico, and Mexico is just letting it happen. When do we start putting pressure on Mexico and saying, why are you allowing this to happen? Mexico has come forward recently and said, we're not helping you guys anymore. We are not doing any of this anymore. We're not deporting them anymore. We're not going to stop them anymore, basically. We don't have the resources for it. We don't have the money for it. You guys aren't helping us do it. So if you guys aren't going to help us do it and you're expecting us to stop all of them from coming through, we can't do it. We cannot do it by ourselves. Well, then why don't you let us in? Oh, wow. You can't. You know why? Because we're not from Mexico. Isn't it funny how that works? Just give me the money. Just give us the money and we'll fund more of the stopping them and deporting them. While Mexico themselves continue to exploit these people that come through in their government programs so they could get 6 months of service out of these people before they even make it here. If you were to take the journey from Venezuela to the border of the United States and Mexico and work it all the way through, we had 2 gentlemen on YouTube just recently do that. It was Bald and Bankrupt, him, and the other fella that he linked up with down in Venezuela took a 2.5 month journey from Venezuela all the way to the United States border. And it was as eye-opening when I seen these people get into Mexico. They were in the center of Mexico, and they had to get on the Bestia. The Bestia is the beast, the train. And sometimes that train could show up right away. Sometimes that train could be days, if not a week. When you get on this thing, you ride on top of this. And this train can be stopped at any point. The people in the rail yards are in on this. The employees that work for the railroad, they were stopping people from getting on the train and saying, hey, you want to get on this train right here to ride north to the United States border? Then how about you pay us some money and then you guys can start climbing on this train. They're in on it. They're in on this whole entire production of what's going on. They are making money off of it. They go around with a bag or a hat or something like that, collecting money from everybody before they even let them on this train that's going to bring them north through Mexico, so they stay away from the cartels and everything else, except That's not all that happens. The cartels can actually stop the train and take more money from the people if they got it, or take a woman or a child or something like that. You can do nothing about it. And some of these people are selling their children to other people so they can make it into the United States because they look like a family. They get more money that way. So these people have even lost some of their own morals in what they do. They rather leave a country where they can't fend for themselves and risk the lives of their children and themselves to possibly provide off the backs of somebody else, because that's what America has promised them. That's what the media has led them to believe. When I talked to Channel 2 News, they said a story like mine and me not wanting these people here would never make the air on their news station because that's not something that fits their agenda. The security officer that was standing next to the guy setting up the stuff for the reporter was like, hey man, they probably don't want to hear what you have to say. That's what he's trying to get across to you. So you may as well just go ahead and go because they're not going to take your story. They don't want to air your story on the news station and what you think is best for the community and stuff like that. You know, it doesn't fit their agenda. So you might want to just go ahead and go on. Oh, I see how it is. See exactly how it is. And that's it. They don't want people to know that the rest of us don't want them there, even though people like me have specifically put videos out that have got hundreds of thousands of views saying, I don't want you here. I don't want to have to take care of you. I actually don't want anything to do with you. You might be a great person, a great human being, but unfortunately my country, my family, and where I live is more important to me. And I'm not okay with this. So there's all kinds of stuff changing right now. Today we found out that the 115th and Halsted location here in Chicago, where they were going to build the migrant camp in the shopping center and stuff, that is on pause now. They stopped it. There's been enough noise and I think enough frustration and stuff long enough now to where maybe, I don't know if that's it or not, but it's stopped. It's on pause. Hopefully it doesn't continue. Hopefully somebody finds something wrong with what's going on there, just like the EPA did at the 38th in California migrant camp, where there were supposed to be thousands of people there. I found out the other day there is a migrant camp somewhere in the city where there's already up to 3,000 people living in this warehouse. I'm sure there's some kind of law or legislation or something, if somebody was to inspect this building, where it would not be fit for people to live. If we could get something like that drawn up, we might be able to get this moved as well. The problem is, where are they going to go? They're already here. Unless we start deporting people back where they came from, we have nowhere to put them. They're stuck here. So if the government says they're not taking them back and their government says they're not taking them back, well, now we've got a conflict at hand. It's one of those situations where, what do you do? It's a rough situation to be in. I think the best thing to do right now, and unfortunately, it's going to take people. It's not going to take law enforcement and stuff to do it. Is the border has to be secure. The border has to be locked down. But isn't it funny how, not funny, but isn't it ironic how Arizona was getting overwhelmed and they shut down that one port, which cut down a huge influx of people coming in. Just that one port alone where they were getting overwhelmed. How come we can't do that in the rest of them? How come Arizona made that call and it was okay, but nobody else can make that call? Sorry for the interruptions here. I don't see why we can't close the other ports as well. And I see the videos and stuff on the independent news agencies down there where the military's on the border. The military's on the border directing these people to the port of entry and letting them come in this way instead of just randomly. Even though they're still doing that, here's what a lot of people don't know. If you don't turn yourself in and get caught and documented as arrested, even though you don't get arrested, you can't get paperwork. You have to be documented as you turn yourself into a police officer to say, I'm seeking asylum, political persecution, whatever it is. So as long as these people keep using this loophole term, political persecution or seeking asylum because my country was attacking me in some way, shape, or form or hindering my way of life, we give them the ability to be put into a legal process that's expedited exponentially to become citizens. And when I say that, once you start receiving IDs, once you start receiving social security cards and packets of paperwork to say all you have is a 3-month waiting term before something becomes, they're going to be voting. They're going to be voting. The problem is we need to start, if this is what we're up against, we need to start convincing these people that the people that are bringing them here are evil. If we cannot beat them, then we need to start going out to these places where these people are at and explaining to them, the people that are bringing you here are using you. They don't care about you. They're making money off of your backs. They're skimming government contracts and stuff. Also, you will vote for them. All because you are being used as a political pawn. So maybe if some of us start becoming much, much smarter than what they think we are or how we're acting and start using what we have in front of us to our advantage, we know tomorrow we can't snap our fingers or there's going to be some massive court case and everybody's going to get deported. Not going to happen. But what if we went out and started trying to convince to these people and witness to these people what the Democrats have done to these cities and these towns and stuff like that? What if we went out there and started doing these things and changed the way these people would vote? Unless all of us start to do something and stop talking about it, and very few people like me being the face of getting this out there by the hundreds of thousands, there needs to be more people making videos. There needs to be more people on the streets at the conservative, the American protest, whatever it is. There needs to be much, much more. I do have another channel. My other channel is it's a maintenance channel that it's like Ford Boss Me Maintenance or something like that. That if people wanted to, they could go subscribe to that channel as well as a backup just in case anything does happen. But I already do have one. It's one of these situations where if we have to start thinking about it in terms of if you cannot beat them, you want to keep bringing them here? Then if we have more, there's more of us than there are of them. You want to keep bringing them here? Then how about I start converting them? How about I start going out and finding ways to get into their mind and start changing the way they're going to vote because of what you did for them? Maybe I could change that vote. Maybe I can make something happen. If we don't do something now, that's the path we're going to have to go. So we have to figure out where this goes. What are you guys willing to do locally and community-wise to make a change, to make something happen? Start selling Ford tacos? No, not Ford tacos. Someone, if you run your mouth, you're going to get booted off of here. All right, man? So stop. I am. We're seeing this increase in crime around here like crazy. We're seeing people's vehicles and their properties getting broke into. We're seeing more and more violence uptick around here. And it's one of those situations where I feel like if I'm not talking about it and I'm not trying to spread the word and I'm not communicating with other people about it, then what am I doing, It's just kind of time to move out of Chicago. Why would I move out of Chicago? This is where everything is for me. My family's here. My business is here. All my customers and stuff that come see me and stuff are here. And I'm going to sit it out, man. I'm going to sit it out until this is all over. I'm not going to run from a problem. Either I'm going to be part of the change or I'm not going to be part of it at all. And I want to be part of the change. So, it's, if you guys think, what's up, baby?
Say goodnight.
Good night. You don't. Did you just, girl? You stink.
Excuse me.
I'm always, man. We don't even need to say stuff like that. I'm always carrying. I don't have a problem with that at all. That's not an issue. I ain't never worried about that. What I'm worried about is what I'm seeing going on in our communities, man. I'm worried about what I'm seeing coming here from other countries and stuff, and we have no idea what we're up against. We have no idea the people that we see. We have no idea what they've done. We don't know how we don't know who's a gang member, who's a murderer, who's a drug dealer, who's a trafficker. The law here in Chicago just lets these people go, even when they do something wrong. They can find drugs on them, weapons, whatever it is, and the judges just let them out. They don't detain them. They can lie multiple times, and they can be identified as like gang members from Venezuela and stuff like that, from well-known gangs, and it doesn't matter. They let them out. They put them back on the streets, and they say, "Have at it." At some point, we have to start to recognize the fact that they are not here for us. The people that run our towns are not here for us. At some point, people are going to have to start making decisions that are uncomfortable. When I joined the military, and I signed an oath. And in that oath, it was, I will defend this country no matter what, from all enemies, foreign and domestic. And there's a problem right now. There's a lot of people that are sitting at home with you right now, your loved ones and stuff, that have no clue what's going on. Not a single clue. They're oblivious to the world. They have no idea, because they don't want to know what the news is. They don't want to face the realities of what's outside of their circle, their life, their front door, because that's what makes them feel comfortable. Because if they did see what was going on outside those doors, outside their life, outside their cozy little worlds, they would be terrified. So they'd rather just not know, because there's nothing they can do until it's too late. And then it's people like us that are talking about it, that are trying to prepare for it, that end up having to take care of not only ourselves, but a ton of other people as well, because they weren't prepared, or they weren't talking about it, or they weren't trying to see what the resolution was, or what the next step is. At some point in time, somebody's going to be dead weight, and you're going to have to make up for it. If you understand what I'm saying. Why isn't ICE being activated? They're all part of it. If you see any type of three-letter agency, it's all part of it. Why isn't ICE being activated is just kind of a state-by-state thing. What are they going to do in sanctuary cities where these people are protected? There's nothing that you can do to them. Nothing. I literally called random non-sanctuary state and said, what if I went on a trip and I brought somebody with me that was from a sanctuary city, and I wanted to go down to, let's just say, Florida, and I wanted to bring a person with me that I know, and they were here on, they're going through the process of becoming legalized and stuff like that. What would happen to that person if they don't commit a crime and they're not trying to work here illegally and they're just visiting? Cannot stop them from traveling. They could travel if they want to. There's nothing that could happen to that person because they didn't commit a crime. Well, if the crime alone of being here in the United States illegally isn't enough for them to be picked up in another state and sent somewhere else. So I wanted to get to the bottom of this. So I actually contacted an immigration lawyer to see if this was true. And he said, what are they going to do? They're from a sanctuary city, which is Illinois. And if they go to a non-sanctuary city, they still have the right to travel. You cannot stop them from traveling. They don't reside in that state. They're not from that state. Well, then who's to stop them from going to another state and living in that state and just saying that, well, nothing. But if they can prove that they have paperwork in Illinois, but they're somewhere else, it would take a whole court case to condemn somebody, which they're not going to do that until they commit a crime. Then they can get deported. So basically, they could do this for a long time and travel from place to place to place, even non-sanctuary cities. As long as they don't get in trouble, they're fine. Theoretically, yes. So what's the point of there being a sanctuary city then? The fact that they have a dwelling and a location of being, that's why. Some kind of pinpoint to where they've come from or they've signed their paperwork and stuff like that. That's pretty much it. So I had a guy come to my business last week and he told me a story. He came from Colombia, from Venezuela to Colombia, from Colombia to Mexico, from Mexico into the United States, turned himself into the El Paso police. And they said, we don't want to process you. We don't want to book you. Just get on the bus and get out of here. Go somewhere else. Well, he didn't want to wait for the next bus that was out of here, so he actually went and paid for his own bus because he did have some money saved up from where he was working back in his country. So he paid for his own bus and went to New York. His family went to Chicago. He went out to New York and signed up for their program, fast-tracked the program, turned himself in. He got arrested on paperwork, got arrested, documented seeking asylum, showed me the paperwork and everything. He was applying for a job. And he says, "Oh yeah, I've been here like 3 months now. I already got my New York City ID. I've got my Social Security card coming soon. Here's the packet for the paperwork on that. And here's the packet for me registering as a asylum seeker. And here's like all these different paperworks that stuff that I've had since I got here to the United States. And I only have to wait like 70 more days, and my waiting time for my Social Security card is done. I have like paperwork to work. I can start the process now if you want me to work for you." And I thought about it for a little bit, and I said, "What experience do you have?" And he says, I worked at a garage with my father, and I did some programming and stuff on Ford vehicles and stuff." Well, you guys know my channel name on here is Ford Boss Me. So this guy's like, "Oh yeah, I'm real good with programming, like advanced programming and stuff." And I said, "Well, what's advanced programming?" And he says, "Well, like key fob and immobilizer stuff and programming for like the computers in the cars or whatever, like can or block learn like ID stuff, or when you want to take data from one computer to another." I said, "That's advanced programming to you?" It's nothing. Maybe that's something to be proud of because that's what you've learned some stuff, but that's child's play compared to what we have to know to be in this field to work on people's cars at an advanced level. But I could see this kid at a young age, he was hungry and he did a lot of work in a short amount of time. And I said, "Were you really seeking asylum?" And he said, "Well, I actually was." Now, I know most of these people weren't, but I actually was. They burned my house down. They ran me out of Colombia. I was there as a refugee and stuff. And the government came in and cleared all our land and stuff like that, took all our money, didn't give us our money back and told us to get out of there and keep moving. So we got booted out of Colombia. They kept our money for the land that we bought, and then they burned our house down as well. So we were being attacked by the Venezuelan cartels. I said, "Well, not the government." No, by the cartels. So the Venezuelan cartels made it into Colombia and attacked you guys' Venezuelan village in Colombia, and that's what forced you here? Well, yeah. And then you fast-tracked, went to New York because they wouldn't arrest you in El Paso, and New York started the process for you? Well, yeah. And you're almost done. Yeah. Well, then how are you going to get your Social Security card when it goes? You had to have a residence or some kind of address in New York in order to get something sent there, right? Well, yeah. Well, then how are you here if your Social Security card is going to get sent there, and then you have to work in a future? I don't understand what's going on. And he said, "No, what I did was I was smart. I took $1,000. I work at Home Depot like a couple days a week. I go stand in the parking lot. I get some paint jobs. I get some concrete jobs. I get some siding jobs, whatever I can. And I save a little bit of money, save a little bit of money, save a little bit of money. And then I took $1,000 and I gave it to a lawyer. And I gave it to the lawyer to be my address. And he will receive my Social Security card and the rest of my documentation. And then when he receives it, he will send it to me here in Chicago. And then I will have all my paperwork, and I'm good to go. So if you're interested in hiring me, you can call me back, and here's my phone number." And I'm like, wow. This man literally came here, had been here barely 4 months, and he's almost finished with the entire process. How crazy is that? How crazy is that? 4 months, and almost went through the entire process of becoming like a citizen, could vote, paying taxes in the United States. I've never seen such a thing in my life. And he had just a big giant manila envelope full of paperwork. 4 months. He had this much paperwork and documentation that he has already acquired in the time that he got here. What is this? None. Oh, you should climb to glory. My 10th mountain. If I got any moderators here, let's get rid of this Pat Murphy and let's get rid of this nun lady. A couple comments up. If any of my moderators are in the comment section, get rid of them. No. No message retracted, Pat. You gotta go. Can't handle the truth. No, I just don't have time for idiots. Just get rid of this Amelia chick too, whoever this is. Probably somebody from Palestine. Make any steaks lately? Yeah. That nun chick needs to go. If you can boot that person, Ryan, too. I don't know if you have the ability to, but we just don't have time for him here, man. Echo Company 25th. Oh, Aviation Regiment 86 to 90. 2nd Brigade 4th Infantry Regiment 96 to 2010. OAF 0709. 11 Bravo. Beautiful. Oh yeah, Chad. It's rough, man. I mean, those of us that have... You know, and that's another thing, too. This whole thing was spending all this money on Palestine, and it's sickening because you see companies like Starbucks. They've lost billions of dollars now because they chose to, or somebody that worked for them chose to put on social media that they stand with Palestine. And look what happened. They got canceled. They lost tons of money. Look what happened with McDonald's. They put the, what was that, the Israeli Star or whatever at one of those McDonald's, and McDonald's Corporation kind of disowned them and said, hey, they don't fit what we follow or whatever. We're not with those people and stuff like that. So we don't want our affiliations really getting political with all these different countries and stuff like that. And it's smart. I don't want to see that stuff. If I start seeing people say they support Palestine or Israel or something like that, honestly, it sucks what's going on between those people, and I'm really sorry that it's happening, but I know Israel is a very, very strong country. If you guys don't know that or not, the weapons, this is how screwed up America is. America wants to turn around and give like these weapons to Israel and stuff like that to defend themselves. But then they want to turn around and they want to give these weapons to all the civilians to be able to protect themselves. But once the United States finds out that that's what the weapons are being used for, then they turn around and say, bad on you for doing that, arming your citizens. Why would you arm your citizens? What? Why would you not? Their government is smart. They're wanting them to be able to protect themselves, their communities and stuff like that. How is that not smart? No matter if it was Palestine or Israel or anybody, that's probably ingenious. That is ingenious. But that's okay. It's not. I mean, it's not okay to do that. It's just a lot of this stuff doesn't make any sense. You know, all this money that we spent on these other countries' conflicts, and these other countries trying to aid them in their disasters and stuff that they needed. We care more about helping other countries out with their people and doing things for other people's countries than we do our own country. Our roads could have been fixed by now. The people would have been, we could have had people off of the street. We could have had them in specific drug addiction care, alcohol care, all kinds of stuff. We could have helped all kinds of people and changed. We could have literally changed the United States by investing and inventing and articulating programs with groups and stuff that could go into communities and stuff that could look at these areas that need to be fixed. But instead, we'd rather spend billions, trillions. Hell, we lost trillions of dollars, and we don't even know where that money went. Oh, sorry, we can't account for $3.2 trillion. I wonder where that money went. It's a lot of this stuff doesn't make any sense. None of it makes any sense. It seems like our government is basically showing us now that you guys are a bunch of fools, and you'll keep believing, which is sad, because we will. Yeah, Canada as well. Canada, oh my God, man, Canada is an absolute joke. I look at Canada, I look at the UK, it's not even a joke anymore, it's a disaster. I was watching Trudeau or whatever talk about how, oh yeah, Canada's got more jobs and they've got more employees than ever, but we're in the highest debt. And one of the people that were one of the reporters was like, yeah, but you're talking about we've got the highest job and we have the lowest unemployment and all this other stuff, and people are all making more money and stuff like this. But yet you make nothing affordable for the people to be able to take that extra money that they're making and those extra jobs that you have so they can afford to live their lives. How does that make any sense? You've done nothing about the housing crisis. It just keeps going through the roof. And he's like, well, yeah, I know. Basically, that's a problem. And, but people are making more money and there's more jobs now. Well, who cares if they're making more money and there's more jobs if they can't afford to live a quality life? At least the minimum. And they can't even do that. The guy sounds like an absolute buffoon when he's talking. In the UK, you talk to people from the UK right now. Thanks for the super chats, guys. You talk to people from the UK right now. They are disgusted by this illegal situation that's going on. Some of their towns, their hotels, their buildings, their apartments, and everything are all full of illegals. They can't get a hotel room. They can't, if they wanted to move to a different area, a lot of the apartments and stuff and the housing and stuff that was there is all gone. I mean, a lot of people are honestly saying that they're done over there. There's nothing they can do. It's too late. I don't believe that. I think that people can make a change there. I would like to think that. Pritzker is corrupt. Yeah, he is. It's happening in Ireland. It's happening in Australia. A lot of people from Australia there are people from Australia that don't even know what's going on the other side of Australia. I was talking to somebody the other day on here and I was like, you don't have an immigration problem? I just talked to somebody the other day and there was many people in the live stream that said they're just piling in over here. But you're telling me that you live in Australia and you don't know that there's an immigration problem. Well, yeah, I don't try to get too involved in the news and everything that's going on. I just kind of live my life. Well, maybe that's the problem. Maybe the problem is that you don't get involved in anything else that's going on, so you're oblivious to it and you need to know what's going on. You don't even know what's going on in your own country. It's sad. It's sad. It's people living in a fantasy world. I left Arlington, Virginia. I moved to North Carolina because it's heavily infested with illegals. Yeah, it's happening all over the place. Even a lot of these places a lot of these states where people are talking about, oh, it hasn't happened here yet. It hasn't happened. Yes, it is. It is pouring into all states. It's trickling into all other areas and stuff that people they don't go out to other areas and experience because they're used to their own little environment out in the woods or out in the rural country or something like that. They don't go to these other areas and stuff to see what's going on. They don't pay attention to what's going on around them. Again, we go back to people being oblivious to what's going on in the world because they're not paying attention. You can find people on this in this comment section right now that's on here with us right now that are all across the United States that can go show you. And a lot of the towns that you're saying this problem isn't going on in, it is going. It's happening. You guys just don't want to admit it or you don't know. Yeah, it's I think it's somebody said the other day that they're piling into the United States and they're trying to take over Western civilization because they're so used to a socialist type life and environment anyway. It's easier to fill the United States up with those type of people that don't have to really you don't have to put that much time into them to train them, to convert them, to assimilate them to a socialist type environment. And it's easier to do it with them than it is with anybody else. So why not fill up the Western civilization as much as possible so you can basically collapse it, you can crush it. So now it looks like everywhere else. What'd you say? You don't think terrorist groups, Hamas, others haven't come across the southern border? Oh, they're all over the place, man. We've seen on the news and the FBI and stuff multiple times where they've admitted that they have found these cells of people that have like training camps for the Middle Eastern, like some type of terrorist group or somebody from overseas. They've admitted it. They've showed aerial shots of like training grounds and stuff over the years. People seen this stuff happen right in front of their face. The programming has already been done. You guys have seen this so many times and seen it over the years pop up all over the place, and you're like, it's just a conspiracy. It's just a conspiracy. It's just a conspiracy. And now here we are at the end of 2023, and you're like, oh man, where have I seen this before? Yeah, it's time to wake up. You've seen it. It's been happening. They're here. Just like we have our own protest groups and stuff like that here that like to talk about, oh, they want to protest for the rights of all these people and stuff like that. No, they don't. A lot of these people on here that they're social justice warriors and stuff like that, they're protesting for a name. They're protesting because they feel lonely. They're protesting because they want to feel like they're part of a group or something like that. Most people have never actually been involved in what any kind of real conflict is to know. I appreciate that. To know what it's like to get yourself down and dirty and messy and fight the fight like some of us have. It's child's play when I look at what's going on, because I'm like, what have you actually sacrificed to make a change for anybody else? Anyway, movies and shows and stuff to try to normalize. Immigrants are. Do you think we're headed for civil war? I've never seen the country so divided. I don't want to say certain things on here because I have a feeling that if I don't know how long this channel will be here. I'm hoping it'll be here for a while because I really haven't said anything to do anything to get myself booted from here. But some people are concerned with my concern for our community and stuff like that, and they're worried that I may end up getting nixed, which if that's the case, we're going to work on a backup tomorrow or the next day. Maybe something that's more mainstream, what we're talking about here. I don't even know what that means. Ford boss is a Chad. I'm not sure what that means. Home garage? I've put it on hold a long time ago, man. Family stuff now and trying to work as much as possible. I gotta get back to the projects and stuff soon. I mean, that's the main thing here is we look at what's coming here. It's just like you just said. It's not women and children anymore. I mean, there might be some that pop through here from time to time, but the majority of people that are coming here in the news of all, I mean, it's across the board. It's Channel 2, Channel 7, the liberal news stations and stuff. They are all talking about this, that why are there so many military age men coming here? Like this young, fit men that they're just piling in. Where are the rest of the women and kids? Maybe it's because they can't make the journey. That's why we don't see the women and kids. Maybe it's because the men are supposed to go build the infrastructure and the foundation for the family and then bring them over when they make the money. Because a lot of people live like that. Hey, I will go build the foundation, get everything prepared and ready, and then I will bring you into your new home. Instead of putting them through the stress and the turmoil of having to go from one country through seven others to get, you know, I'm on the same name on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I don't do Twitter. I mean, I think I have a Twitter, but I just don't do it. I appreciate. Okay, I got that, Chad Stacy. I mean, it's bad. Think about having all the motor oil. What did you say? Think about having all the motor oil you could carry. Oh my God, I have all the motor oil I can carry now. I have motor oil laying around all over the place. Seriously, in the house, in the garage, in the game room, at work, on my tool. I have motor oil everywhere. You look like the rich man north. Oh, yeah. I'm a little bit more chubby than that. Quite a bit more chubby than that. He's a fart smeller. I mean, a smart fella or a handsome fella or whatever they say is. You said what? Look what happened to Florida when they let them all in. Yeah, and now what they DeSantis has pretty much cleaned house. They say there's still a lot there. They say there's more there than what people lead on, but they've just learned to be more discreet with how they do business and how they work now. Oh yeah, yeah. I see what's going on in California. You see what's going on in California with their freaking governor? I was just reading tonight that January 1st of 2024, they want to stop if you haven't bought a regular truck in certain areas or maybe all of California, a diesel semi, by December 31st of 2023, come January 1st, 2024, you can be fined or you can't, or they're trying to make it to where by a certain date, you cannot purchase a diesel truck. And it has to be done by a specific, like by the end of the year or something like that, or there could be fines because they want at least 50% of the fleet this and 75% of the fleet that and all going electric. And then on top of that, they want to make it easier for people. California's kind of disgusting to me, to be honest with you. We get a communist dictator like Ping Jing Jing One Wing Wing or whatever from overseas. He comes here and California gets cleaned up. What is it, San Francisco or whatever it is, gets cleaned up. The whole city gets cleaned up. All the homeless people are moved. All the trash is taken off the streets. They're flying Chinese flags all up and down the streets and stuff like that. Like it's some kind of national Chinese holiday for some leader that's coming in that's not part of the United States. And they're standing on the street with no American flags in sight. I mean, there's an overwhelming support for this here coming out of California. This is okay. This is your government. This is okay. That alone, when you guys seen that alone should have turned every single one of you in California completely away from voting anything Democrat. That was disgusting. That was probably one of the worst things that I've seen in my life when it comes to spitting in the face of Americans in this country. And they went and did that. Put the beautiful barricades up and the high fences and everything else and Chinese flags lining everything, cleaned up the streets. It looked beautiful. It looked like the California that you would want to be proud of. But they did it for this communist dictator from another country. But they won't do it for their own people. They were just talking about it tonight. He was being called out for it or something like that. Or it was on, like, I don't know if it's on Fox or something, where they were actually bringing that up. Like, what? How does this make any sense? Where are all the homeless people that were here? Where's all the trash and the tents and stuff that were up all over the place, and the piles of human feces and stuff all over? Where people are just, for God's sake, they have people in the streets using the bathroom, being recorded by other people, and these homeless people are just dumping wherever they want, right in the middle of the streets. They're making YouTube and TikToks out of it because it's so common. I mean, that's disgusting in itself. And that's California? It's disgusting. Have you talked about with the homeless man you help? Yeah, Anthony's doing good. He's on like day 10 going into day 11 of clean. No drugs, no nothing. There was a couple people here that donated about $100. I took that. I think they donated like $87 or something like that. I took that money and I actually cashed apped it to Anthony, so he had some money to eat off of and live off of, and so he didn't have to go beg or anything. And then the other night, I bought him a large. It was like a Connie's Pizza or Nancy's Pizza or something like that, and a big 2-liter Coke and stuff. And he was like, "Hey, I'm really hungry right now. Do you think maybe you could help me?" I said, "No, I wanted you to get to this point where you were over the main part of your detox." And he's on like day 10, day 11 now. He's got some cash. He's got some food. He's got clean clothes, some new clothes. And I'll check in with him here in another day or two, see if he needs more money or something like that, see if he's still good. And as long as he's staying clean, I'm good. And Anthony said he started checking into some NA meetings. And he's waiting on a text for a specific location so he can get in. And he's going to be 11 days clean tomorrow. And I figured that if I can set an example by helping our homeless people, by going out to the communities and helping people from different locations and stuff like that, then that might be something spiritual, beautiful. I don't consider myself a role model, but I'd like to consider myself as somebody that's leading by example and taking some of what I make from YouTube and social media and stuff like that and give that to other people as well to help them better their lives. And we did find also a giveaway person for we found a giveaway person for my blue town car, my ice blue town car, my 2006. The fellas out of Tennessee. I said in a previous video, I'm surprised nobody got a hold of me for that giveaway. I wanted it to be like a single mom or dad or somebody really, really, really in desperate need. And I said I was kind of upset because I said it's kind of shocking that nobody would come forward for this car. And I messaged two people. I messaged the gentleman first, and then I gave him like several days, and then I messaged the lady after, and then she didn't get back to me. And I was like, man, what gives, And then he messaged me and he said, hey, I have the receipts. I did message you. Maybe I just never got it because it was never in my inbox. So the first of the year, I'm driving down to Tennessee and we're going to stay in the Smokies for a couple days, and I'm donating that car to this gentleman and his family. So we do have a person. He's a single father. He's got a couple kids. I think he's got a couple little girls or something like that. The car that he has is in really, really, really bad shape, and it's leaking all over the place, and I think the engine's damaged or something like that. And I said, you know what? I will bless you with this car. It's very well taken care of. It's got a lot of life left in it. I'd rather you have it than some rando. And I'll work on my next project and then possibly end up working that as a giveaway for somebody in the future. I'll have some fun with it for a little bit, get it all fixed up and nice, and then turn around and donate that car to somebody else. I think that may be like our channel thing. We find a car, we have some fun with it, we play with it, make it reliable, then we turn around and we donate it to a family in need. So That's awesome, Bug Man. You can do diesel work in Will Lakeland. Oh yeah. I mean, I've been doing, but I'm a manager now, so I'm a co-owner of a business, and I run the business now. So um, I had somebody the other day that told me that they were interested in paying me to leave my position, and I was like, yeah, it's going to be kind of hard to do that because I run the show. I'm the boss, so it's going to be kind of hard. Getting clean isn't easy after multiple surgeries. I was hooked on pills, 13 years sober now. Getting clean was the darkest, hardest time of my life. Thank you for actually listening and helping people. Direct, I appreciate that. And it was hard with Anthony because day one wasn't so bad. Day two was really bad. Hearing the tears and stuff, and how he was breaking down and just shivering, and the pain that he was in trying to go through the recovery. And the third day, hearing him explaining to me how he was just, his body was tore up. It felt like death was coming out of him. And then in day four, he started to come around and get a little bit more energy. Maybe he could just eat just a barely little something. And day five, he was able to start sleeping better, couple hours. And then day six, I think he was able to get like a 6 hour night's sleep, and he actually ate a little bit more food. Day seven, he was able to sleep all night again. And then he's on the he's on that incline right now of hopefully steadily, just doing better, doing better, doing better, doing better. And I hope we can be a huge support to him and continuing to help our homeless people, people that can be a part of society, become better and help them get on their feet. And I talked to him this morning, and I appreciate that. Create a funding so we can donate to support your charity giving. I mean, you guys are donating through here. It's easier that, the super chats and stuff through here are amazing because it's all tracked. And that way, when I claim it to pay taxes and everything on it, it's not that big of a deal. If I do separate funding, I don't know how to set all that up. I'm not smart enough to do all that with the loopholes of taxes and everything else. I'd have to have somebody like one of you guys that do this stuff for a living help me out. I just do everything through here because it's easier that way. That way I can't ever get accused of not trying to pay taxes on stuff, because I do want to pay my taxes on money that I earn. I know. The super chats don't do that with the super chats. I think if you look it up, it's not that bad with super chats. I think it's very small, if anything at all. I don't know if I saved his life, but I feel like I wanted to be a part of his life. He was already kind of on the verge of making the choice to get clean. Um, and yeah, I just I just think I came at the right time to help him make that decision. That's what it was. Charity begins at home. I appreciate that. The super chats and stuff. I appreciate you, Indian Princess. Thank you. Let's not talk. Yeah. Not only that is you have to see what's going on in the state of Illinois right now. The state of Illinois right now, they're trying to ban any kind of further purchase of specific pew pew, and everything now the new card that I got, it doesn't even show an expiration date because it's my FOID and my CCL together on the same card. And now where I used to have an expiration date, I don't have an expiration date no more. But every time you go buy Freedom Seeds, you have to show proof so it can be tracked and they know exactly what's going on. What's the name of my business? Ask me after the video loads and I'll tell you. It's in Chicago. Here, I'll tell you right here. That's the name of my business. I don't know if that's really true. Did you catch that? Because I've had that situation happen before, and I get it. You can still track it, and you can see how you get it. Yeah. Go to Indiana. I don't know, man. Indiana's kind of crazy, man. Indiana's. Oh, to buy freedom seeds. Okay. Now I know what you mean. I know what you mean, Mr. Coffee. I know what you mean. Would you say, where can I find your email? The one on your YouTube page sent my message back. Um, hmm. It's just message me after this video loads and I'll pop it up there. Don't leave fake reviews, just honest. I don't know. Blood curling, I'm not sure what that pertains to. I wasn't asking anybody to do any kind of reviews. I'm not asking people to go live for me. I mean, I do help a lot of people on here on YouTube, and it does help because of the business. So it wouldn't really be lying. Wasn't there a Street Fighter recently murdered? I saw him fight on Street Beef. I don't know. I'm not sure. Think of Missouri. I think Missouri's all right. Oh, Robert, you always do that. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate the super chat. It's awesome, man. He's always helping out the cause, always donating. So I appreciate, always appreciate this fella. Yeah, yeah. Anthony would have been sick as hell if he's really off dope. Oh yeah, he was. He was extremely sick for 4 days straight. Throwing up, all kinds of stuff. Couldn't keep food down. Urine looked black. I mean, dark brown and stuff. He was bad, man. He was in tears, like almost like pain, man. Real bad.
I know you upstairs.
Okay.
Good night.
Love you.
I love you.
We love you, Rich, U.S. citizen first. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Thank you for the super chats tonight. Yeah, I did. I seen a guy that was doing a YouTube walk around that somebody just shared with me. And he found that camp that was in Chicago that had almost 3,000 people. It was one of the illegals that came out of there, and the lady was like, "Oh yeah, there's like 3,000 people living in there." And he was like, "Oh, I thought it was like over 2,700." And she says, "No, it's like 3,000 people living in this facility." And I was like, "What?" I didn't even know about this location. I had no idea this location was even there. But I guess from what I understand, there are locations all across the city now. They've taken warehouses that nobody knew about that have been abandoned for years and put a bunch of money and stuff into them and have converted them into illegal camps. So any guesses how many you think will freeze the first time it goes below zero? My guess is more. They're already having a hard time, man, and it hasn't even got close to that. You know, and that might have been part of the whole scheme was to put so much attention on that one camp. Everybody forgets about the other places that were being built. So you focus so much attention on that 38th in California camp and the 115th in Halstead camp, and you're protesting and doing all this other stuff there. And yeah, they probably knew at some point it was gonna be shut down. Maybe, maybe not. While other camps elsewhere are being put in because that Canadian firm, they got paid $29 million to build the camps across across Illinois, across Chicago. So Chicago was going to get that money out of them, no matter what. These people got paid. Even on the 38th in California one, they spent millions of dollars there. You don't think those people got paid? All those people got paid. People, they all got their little cut in their pocket and everything. They all got something out of that. Yeah, Bonnie, there's a lot of shelters in Chicago, and I had no idea that these shelters were even there. I had no idea they were taking small warehouses, they were taking big warehouses. They're trying to find empty pieces of land that they forgot about or they don't know. And they've been doing all kinds of stuff in these buildings and these facilities and stuff. Oh, the schools are see how it works is from I guess from what I've been told from these people that go to these council meetings, these city hall meetings and stuff like that. And every child that's placed into a seat inside a public school has to have a certain amount of money allotted to that seat to take care of that child's curriculum, the school, the stuff that child uses and stuff, the air he breathes, whatever she breathes, whatever it may be, or the attack helicopter breathes, or the little Daisy breathes, and for every child that's in there, there's a certain amount of money allotted to that school for that position. So if they can fill up as many positions as possible, that's more money that school makes. So the schools are not against it. They want to fill up as many seats as possible so they can make as much money as possible. That's the theory behind it. And well, and guess who our mayor comes from? Mayor comes from the school board. That's how our mayor got the position that he got. It was because school board. It wasn't because of anything else. He wasn't good at anything else. He wasn't even good at that. That's why he got his job. If Frank Diddy was still alive in Chicago, this wouldn't happen. Nitty. Oh yeah, the next 11 months are going to be really, really bad. The funny thing is, if something doesn't happen, I can't say that. Oh, I can't say that. Can you tell what illegal nationality has committed the most crimes in Chicago so far? Well, the most of what we see here are Venezuelans. Almost, I bet you not, 70 to 75% of what we see here are all from Venezuela. Yeah, not Mexicans. Mexicans don't come here and do this stuff. They don't do any of this stuff. I'm not saying they can't or they haven't, but the majority of Mexicans don't do this. They don't even associate with these people. They will straight tell you to your face, do not call me or put me in the same category with them or we're going to fight. Like, this is not going to happen. That's not our people. We're not about that. We come, we work hard, we pay our dues and stuff like that. We might take some money back home to our families to take care of them and stuff like that, but we still come back and we're productive and we're a part of your society here during agriculture years, farming years, harvest years, whatever it may be. And we have some of them dual citizenship, but they don't do this stuff that these people are doing now. It's not the same. Yeah, the Mexicans do work hard. They work very hard. I've had I've had Mexican dudes come work for me, whatever it may be. It may be painting, it may be working on a car or something like that, something basic that they've seen over and over again, and they run circles around people that I've worked with, just because their work ethic is different. It's just completely different. Right. And that's what all of them are saying from Venezuela is we're here seeking asylum, and they are not asylum seekers. And even when you see the interviews on the border with the news reporters and stuff like that, and the independent reporters that are down there asking them, why are you here? Oh, better job, more money, something like that. They're not here seeking asylum. They can't, they don't, they're not even legitimately able to seek asylum using that as an excuse. That's not an asylum seeking position. But that's what our government is filing them under. I'm a bilingual teacher, and we are getting many students from different parts of South America, Central America, or Mexico. We have a lot on our plate to incorporate them into the new system. I bet. You're probably working overtime right now. I was talking to somebody the other day that was translating for me, and he was like, man, he was from Honduras, and he speaks very clean language from where he's from, but he also speaks very, very good English. And he said, man, I don't understand anything this Venezuelan guy is saying. They have like a different dialect to their words. They have different like ending and pronunciations to certain things that we don't use where I'm from. Like I understand him, but I don't understand him. And some of the stuff he's saying sounds absolutely crazy. And I was like, oh God, how's this going to work out if you're translating for me and I'm talking to a Venezuelan? And he said, it's just a lot of it is just it's different. I have to stop and I have to think about what he's saying and what he meant by the way he said it, and they talk different. Oh, you're right. Illegal is illegal, Mexican or not. I get what you're saying. Yeah, I want people to come the correct way as well. All there's the same process that everybody else goes through. I want them to use also. Yeah, I would love to at this point see what it's like to live somewhere else. Um, like someplace in Mexico that's American friendly. I know there's some places they say that aren't, but there's other places that if you just mind your own business and you can build a company and stuff like that, it doesn't matter, whatever. You can make it work. There's people that have left here. Look at the white dude that's on YouTube. He's got his own like onion farms and stuff in Mexico, and now he speaks fluent Spanish. He's already adapted to the local culture and stuff like that. He's out in the towns and stuff. They know him now, but he's slowly adapted and slowly assimilated and made himself part of the community and stuff. But he learned their language. He learned how they lived and stuff like that. He didn't disrespect anybody. He came in very peacefully and respectfully, and he brought more jobs to Mexico, and he learned them. And now he speaks fluent Spanish and everything. And he knows how to say a lot of stuff that they don't even know how to translate in their language that he has learned. And it's it's pretty astonishing. I kind of look up to the guy because I'd love to do that one day. That would be so awesome to just walk into, you know, fly to Mexico and get out on my or drive out to my farm or something like that and be able to speak the local language and stuff or whatever. Yeah, right. You're right. We don't have 10 million Americans migrating to Mexico. Oh, we're not saying that all Venezuelans are bad, man. I know there's a lot of smart people that come from Venezuela, but you have to look at what we're dealing with now. You could be our firsthand experience here to say that there's a problem here, man, and you know that. And you look at the quality of people that are coming here from Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, Guatemala, Bolivia. It's not that nice. Yeah. I mean, you got to pay the price like everybody else does, and that's just how it is. And that's what we like. That's what I like. Essentially, country boy, you would have the, I guess, the definitive answer or the definitive question or the answer to that is theoretically, no matter if they're good or bad, if they came here illegally, they're bad. You know that, but that's they showed pictures of Venezuelans and Colombians and stuff like that. People cross, young people in their mid 20s, almost 30, maybe early 30s, cross the border, pull flags and stuff out of their backpack and start dancing with their like home base flags and stuff like that and flying it around in America and stuff and pointing to it, and it's like, bro, that's like, I understand that you respect your country, but what you wanted to do is you wanted to come to the United States, and the first thing that you wanted to do was pull out your country's flag and fly it while you're running from it, while you're fleeing from it, while they've never done anything for you, they've ruined your family and your life. They've done everything. The first thing you do when you want to get on American soil is pull out your country's origin flag and fly it so everybody knows that you're that much of an idiot. I don't get it. I don't get how that's something to be proud of. That's like spitting in the face of America saying, look at this. This is Venezuela. This is Colombia right here, and I'm in the United States. I don't get it. Well, they said here where I'm at last night, it's a heavy Middle Eastern presence here in the town that I live in, and they had the whole part of a whole main strip blocked, flying Palestinian flags, cars parked sideways on the roads, the side streets, everything else. They were saying it's crazy last night, and it was just a couple miles away from me, and I had no idea. I mean, a lot of the stuff that's going on here is it's kind of nutty. The people are getting more ballsy. The protests and stuff for the Israel Palestine stuff, they're getting more violent. It's there's a lot of bad going on right now. Oh yeah, yeah, Tony, they were shutting down the highway. They had a bunch of Palestinian people in these cars, and they were all trying to go about the same speed on the highway, and then they slowly started coming to a stop so they could block the whole highway all the way across, and then more would pull up and fill in the little gaps so people couldn't run through them. And then they got out of the cars after they parked them, and they walked out in front of the cars, and they started dancing in the streets and protesting on the highway, in the middle of the highway. And they just filled up the highway across with cars so nobody could get through, so they could do their own thing. Would you say? I agree with you. I was in Mexico City a couple months ago. Many Venezuelans were planning to cross the border. When I met them, I realized they all came from prison as a Venezuelan. Yeah, what they say, Maduro, or wherever, whoever just let out all the prisoners and stuff and said, get out of here, make your way north. Chris in Texas. But you guys still got it bad in Texas, though. You guys got it worse in Texas than we got it here. Yeah, they Kennedy block. Imagine trying to pull that in the Middle East or Asia. Wow, you try to do any of the stuff that's going on here in another country somewhere else, they'd have your ass so hemmed up so quick you wouldn't know. There wouldn't be no worrying about who was right or justice warriors or social this or that. They would do what they wanted with you, and you don't have a choice. But they also instill that type of fear into other people to where they don't make these stupid choices. They don't do these stupid things, so this type of stuff doesn't happen. And when it does happen, it ends very quick. The problem is we cannot. I keep saying the problem is, and that's not. It's not even really what I mean. I think what my biggest concern here is, what do we do to stop this from happening without people getting in trouble? You have to do it through voting, honestly, or else people get in trouble for things. You got to do it through voting. You got to do it through making as much noise as possible at the town halls, the community halls. You have to start going out into the public and actually talking to people and educating people that normally wouldn't vote the way that you vote, and helping them understand why. It may be too late by then, but with there being millions of people headed here right now, what are you going to do? The biggest thing that would really affect these guys the most right now that nobody's actually really done is, I'm with you, Oracle Queen. I am with you. The biggest thing that we can honestly do right now is, they want to play games. They need our money. They need us to buy stuff. They need us to support their infrastructure and stuff like that. Well, what if we did do what people have been asking? If everybody actually picked a date and stuck to a specific date and said, you know what? I'm not going to go buy nothing. I'm not going to go out to a store. I'm not going to go to a gas station. I'm not going to do anything. We did it across the United States. I'm not doing nothing. I'm staying in my home. I got food stocked up or whatever. I'm going to take a couple days, and I ain't paying for nothing. I ain't spending no money on anything. And then that 2 days, maybe next time turns into 3 days. Next time turns into 4 days. You want to keep playing games? Well, then how about we have a whole week where we're not supporting anybody, and we're making sure that we're all taken care of. Our families are taken care of. Our neighbors and stuff are taken care of. And guess what? Then we don't complete. We can make it another day, another day, another. You want to keep playing games? Then we can keep doing it. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, of course the country will shut down, but then maybe that's the message that they need. I think the main thing now is, you want to take my tax. And I wish that would be I would love to do something along the tax thing that people keep bringing up. I would love to do something along that to say, you know what, you want to keep taking our tax dollars and spending it on whatever you want. How about I don't give you my tax dollars then? How about you don't make money off of me then? How about that? How about I just go the next 5 years not paying taxes or something like that, if that's what you want to do, and I make sure I have enough money put away when it all comes time to divvy up in the future. If that's what you want to do, how about we just don't do that? Because I don't give my money up to these people multiple times before I'm out of it, for them to just do whatever they want and me not have a say so. Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm just throwing stuff out there right now, guys. Everything that we talk about is not going to be spot on, but this is the only thing that we actually come up with something. You know, maybe this Monday coming up, I don't buy anything. I'm not going to go shop anywhere. I'm not going to put my money into anything. Maybe Monday and Tuesday, I don't spend a single dime. I don't buy gas. I don't buy groceries. I don't buy anything. I don't stop and get my energy drink in the morning. That, you know what? It just is what it is. Maybe that needs to turn into a couple days, then a couple days, and a couple days. No, gambling's not okay. Maybe, I mean, if you guys are in, well, I mean, we could try something like that. If somebody thinks that's a stupid idea and it's not going to make an effect, then how about somebody speak up and say, hey, that's not a great idea, and this is the reason why. I'm just trying to come up with something. It's frustrating, guys. Something that we can peacefully do to get our message across, and it might make a difference. It might not. Maybe we see that it doesn't make a difference, and we say, hey, all right, let's give it another week, and then we do 3 days. I understand that, Ryan. I mean, what are you gonna do though? What do we do? What's the answer, Ryan? But buddy, you know I love you to death, but what's the answer? Somebody's got to do something somewhere. Somebody's got to start making a plan to do something somewhere. And maybe it's just us talking, trying to figure out what it is that we do. Just trying to figure out where something. I mean, I think some of you, and forgive me for saying this. This is going to piss some of you off. I think some of you are not speaking up because you're worried that it's going to affect your job. You're worried that something's going to happen if your job gets affected by what needs to be done because you might lose out some kind of way. But at the end of the day, what if that's what I'm saying, Green Meanie? It will affect people's jobs. It's going to affect people. Not if people aren't spending money and putting money in things. I mean, what do you do? If any of you are mad at me because you think that this is not an answer, then speak up. Now's the time to talk about it, to try to figure out what we're supposed to do. Joe Army might get me. Just speak, man. As long as you're not being an idiot, you're fine. Okay, Ryan. Me and you can meet up soon. I I don't know why we're not meeting up anyway. We should be. What'd you say? They in Chicago about to turn into a Goya powder popsicle, but this was y'all land. Oh, Jay. It's our land now. How about that, buddy? You living on it. Oops. There'll be something going soon, that's for sure. Jay said, Trump's MAGA movement could be the start of the Patriot Party. Hey, I'm okay with that. Who sent all the migrants to the east? They're trying to figure out where they need to go. They're running out of there's places like Chicago and New York they can't give them jobs, and they thought they could get jobs that easy. I mean, I think what I would love to see more than anything is those of you from the Chicagoland area, from the black community, from the Asian community, from the Hispanic community, from every community, from the yuppie community, the white community, whatever you want to call yourself, the trailer trash community. I don't care what you want to call yourself. I would love to see everybody. Let's get the petition to protest so we can't get arrested or kicked off the street or anything like that. Massive protest in Chicago, like Columbus statue area, thousands of people flood the streets, let the voices be heard. Just a massive movement of pictures and signs and voices and letting people know we're not okay with this. We're not okay with this at all. People from the south side, the west side, the north side, everybody all together, all at one time, just having it out, everybody together. So they could see every single color, every single voice, every single nationality all together in one space fighting for the same exact thing. I will. I will. Daryl, you're probably right. It's probably bigger than what we realize. But you know what? I've got some strong connections with people in other communities and stuff like that, and I want to see if we can all get together. Yes, yes, U.S. citizen. Yes, yes. Pullman area, Roseland area. Supposedly after the first of the year, if a illegal can get some kind of work permit or something like that, then they could actually be considered for a law enforcement job. There's some kind of talk to allow illegals with work permits to become some kind of part of law enforcement. They have talked about something like that. If you guys, if we need to, if we want to schedule it first, if I could talk to my, maybe we'll be back here. We can come back tomorrow night and we'll talk about this, and I'll put some feelers out from people in the community to get this rolling, and then we'll come back and we'll reconvene here tomorrow, and we'll talk about all this, and I'll see what I can do to make sure we're legally doing this because we want to obey the law, and we want to get a permit for this, and we want to be in a spot where it's okay for us to be able to do it, so that way we're protecting as many people as possible, and it's our right to come together, to be with each other, to rejoice in our assimilation, our beliefs, and stuff like that. So I will reach out to some people tomorrow, and um, yeah, I'm actually going to be speaking to some people from the black community that are very well known that I talk to, and then we'll be back here tomorrow, and um, we'll talk. We'll talk, and I'll let you know what was talked about in the conversation. See if there's any kind of way we can set up some date stuff, and then move from there. So if that's something you guys are okay with, that's what I'm gonna feel around tomorrow and figure out what we need to do. I just think that the only reason why I can't stop doing what I'm doing, and I've actually had some friends that have walked away from me because I'm doing what I'm doing. But I can't stop, man. I can't turn my back on the people here. I can't turn my back on my community and stuff like that. And this is what I feel like the right thing to do is. So if I lose friends in the process, this just happen. It happens. You're gonna have that. I agree, John. Yeah, spirit in the sky. More than likely they will. This is a way for them to make money. All right, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and jump off of here. It's 10 o'clock at night. We'll be back here tomorrow about 8:39. About 8:30 tomorrow night. Let's get together here and let's figure out what I come up with tomorrow when I reach out to the people that I reach out to figure out if we can't get something kicked off and rolling here. Yeah. Well, I think it's just the fact that there are some people that are scared on here to talk like I am because they're worried that they may end up directing their platform a different way other than automotive. I want you guys to understand that first and foremost, this is an automotive channel. Automotive is my life, and a lot of the people that are here. But I see a much higher cause right now to talk about and to put my energy and stuff into right now. And it ain't gonna be it's not gonna change anytime soon. The fact that I'm putting my energy and my time into this, but let's say 6 months from now, all this has died down and we pretty much got things situated and taken care of, and we're at a happier place. A year from now, this will be still an automotive channel. So I just hope you guys are okay with that, because this is never going to be just political. I want to start a second channel for that, but this channel is the mothership for getting my voice out there, getting your voices out there, and coming together so we can um, become a community. Plus, I get to help a lot of you guys that are struggling as well that didn't know about me before. You guys have been asking me questions about, hey, my mechanic said this, or this is going on with my vehicle, that's going on with my vehicle, or hey, I have that vehicle. I learned something about my car on your channel. I didn't even know that I would like to watch automotive stuff, and here you guys are watching my stuff. I appreciate it. All right, guys. I'm going to go lay down with my loved ones. I appreciate it. Take care. And I'll see you back here tomorrow about 8:30 Central Time. Yep, you're right, Spiro. Thank you, moderators, for being here and taking care of stuff tonight. I really appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all hit that thumbs up and get this video out there as much as possible, because the more you thumb up the video, the more it gets out there, the more we have people that know about what we're talking about. They can actually participate and be part of this. I'm going to bed. I love y'all. Be blessed.